After Kendrick's comeback message and his feature on the Baby Keem song Family Ties, it seems like he's teasing and hinting at a new alter ego or a new persona the same way that he did in 2017 for the album Damn with Kung Fu Kenny. So guys, if you're new to the channel, stay tuned for more Kendrick updates on his new album and the biggest rollouts in hip-hop. We're covering all of it, so leave your thoughts in the comments on this possible alter ego for the new Kendrick album. And when you saw that message and you saw the name of the website being www.oklama.com, what were your first thoughts? And did that alter ego persona come into your head right away?
Absolutely. And listen, we've been calling this since the jump, because when we did and everything we know about Kendrick's new album a couple of months ago, the main portion of that video was concentrated on the fact that we said, hey, listen, he might go into this alter ego and there's a big possibility of it. So once I saw the announcement, I saw the domain name, I saw the letter signed off Oklama, I kind of understood where this whole thing was going. And not only that, but if you look at the trailer for Family Ties, the new Baby Keem single featuring Kendrick, it doesn't say, starring Kendrick Lamar. It says starring Oklama, and then Baby Keem's name is still there and it's still regular. So I think he's going to be taking this new persona into a reality, and it's going to be something new for the fans. So it's not the first time we see him do this. As you just said, he's done it in 2017 with Kung Fu Kenny, but Kung Fu Kenny was less of a conceptual character in the album because that was extremely personal to Kendrick himself. If you look at all of the track list, I mean, it's all kinds of different emotions that go into Kendrick's life. So example, fear, lust, then after that, even talking about his DNA, even talking about humble, like there's a bunch of different moving factors into it. So how do you think off the bat that this new, let's say, alter ego is going to play into the overall album?
Yeah, it's really interesting because he could go the route of just having a new look, having this new identity like he did with Kung Fu Kenny for Damn, and not actually include it in the thematic elements of the project. Or he can actually tap into somebody else's shoes and tell somebody else's story like he's done in previous songs, like Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, where he's talking through the lens of a gang member, or maybe something like How Much a Dollar Cost off To Pimp a Butterfly, where he's talking, through the perspective of God. So he might do that, and I feel like when you actually break down Oklama or Oklama, the kind of first things you think about are maybe the fact that on Duckworth, the opening line or the opening words to that song are Lamar, which sound very similar to Oklama, but it's actually Olamar on Duckworth, but it kind of sounds like Lamar. So people have been kind of making that comparison. Apart from that, Kendrick is actually the name of a town in Oklahoma. So people are kind of seeing if that has any correlation. I don't know if it will, but my personal take on where I think it's going to go in the album, I feel like he will embody a character for the entirety of the project, and I feel like it'll be two different types of personalities, okay? So either a drug dealer or someone who's in the streets who has acquired wealth and who's acquired material wealth, but is lacking that spiritual guidance and lacking that faith in something bigger. Or the flip side could be a rapper in the game who, again, has acquired money, who's consumed himself in the lifestyle of what it means to be a trendy rapper and what it means to, fill up your life with material bullshit, and then that character having to be grounded back to reality and find that spiritual being when they lose everything. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. What do you think?
I have two theories as well. So my first one is maybe the perspective that we had talked about on everything we know about maybe him going into a homeless man's perspective, like how he did it with How Much a Dollar Cost, and talking about the trials and tribulations and the sort of moral decisions that you have to make when you're in those tight situations, and maybe personifying that and using imagery to be able to get you into that environment. Not only that, but I love it when Kendrick presents such complex ideologies, but presents you the overall picture, because, maybe he's going to present it in a way where it's like, yes, of course, Oklama is maybe this homeless man that's going through stuff and that, had to make moral decisions in order to, keep his life going and had to, survive these hard times, but showing the contrast between that. I think that may be one thing. Or maybe Oklama is actually a variation of Kendrick himself, and maybe a different level of Kendrick that we've never seen. So maybe he really wants to take this on a whole different level with spirituality and preaching the word of God, and maybe wants to do it through the alter ego of Oklama. So all of these theories all have validity. We've seen Kendrick use all of these, let's say, themes and techniques in previous songs. So going on that, what do you feel as if is Kendrick's best, storytelling material, and when he's actually dove into different personas?
Well, How Much a Dollar Costs is the prime example for me, where he kind of starts off about being like, he doesn't want to give that money to the homeless man. Then he ends up realizing that it's such a thoughtless gesture that could really go a long way. And then, the homeless man reveals himself to be God, and he starts talking about how, greed can really consume you. And this also goes back to a song off of Damn, which is actually Fear, where Kendrick alludes to the book of Job from the Bible, and he has a passage in that song that reads out, "All this money, is God playing a joke on me? Is it for the moment, and will he see me as Job? Take it from me and leave me worse than I was before." So that goes on to what I think the concept of this album might be, is either a rapper, and think about it, Kendrick has always rapped about being in the perspective of a rapper in the game, or someone from the streets, like he's done multiple times, especially on Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City. So I think it's going to be one of those types of personas that's obsessed with material wealth and possessions, and then something happens for them to get grounded to reality and to maybe lose everything in order to finally find that path towards God or towards a higher spiritual being. But like you were saying, man, this could very well just be another variation of Kendrick, because on the song Family Ties, it seems like he is rapping from his own perspective, because he's talking about PG Lang. He's talking about smoking on your top 5 rappers. So based on that feature alone, it doesn't seem like he's rapping from somebody else's shoes, but do you think that there's still a chance that he does that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's done it on almost every single one of his albums, except for Damn, I believe.
I'm saying for a whole album, not just a song or two,
That's so tough, because I feel as if people want to hear maybe Kendrick talk in his own perspective and give his own passages, so kind of a play, on that, but it depends on everything that goes down, because you look at how Kendrick forms his albums, it doesn't necessarily stick to one thematic basis, and I think that's why Kendrick's albums are so layered and so complex. It's because you have to go song through song and grab little pieces of the puzzle to be able to get through the end of the track list and be like, okay, this is what I got from it, and how could I use this in my life with my guidance? Like, my biggest thing for the alter ego is not necessarily the way that, he uses it creatively. I want to see how it impacts me and the message I'm able to take out of it, because this alter ego may have been done before in hip hop. Like alter egos have always been a thing and they've always been executed. But with this next one, I really want to see the deeper meaning behind it, because if he's pushing it, he's signing off his letters with it, he's using it as the branding, he's using it as a name for, his
potentially the album.
Like there's so many different areas he could go in with it. And I think that he's using it for a purpose. I think that there's really something to it. So regardless, guys, create your own narratives. What do you guys think it is? And, what do you guys want to see from this new alter ego? Because from a Kendrick fan standpoint, it's always nice to see new material and maybe new messages, being developed and being created.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see. And I do hope that Kendrick, if he is sticking to his own personal experience and just having a variation of himself through the Oklama alter ego, then I do hope that he does what he did on Family Ties, where he's on that cocky level where he's kind of putting people on blast and exposing all the fuck shit in society, because that's what Kendrick has been known to do. And I feel like, especially since this is his last TDE album, he's not going to hold anything back.
Oh, he isn't. Absolutely not. And he has to really hit home on this. And it's crazy because there's an immense amount of hype for this album. Like, fans are really buzzing.
Wait, man.
Oh, listen, I started crying when I found out that he was dropping. I swear to God, on everything. I literally teared up when I found out that he was dropping again. Like, you don't understand the impact of a Kendrick album until it actually comes. That's the thing, is like, I'm still trying to dissect Damn. Imagine, after almost 5 years, I'm still trying to go back to that album and find different passages, find different double entendres, find different messages within the literature. There's so much stuff to take out of a Kendrick album. So, guys, on that note, did you want to get one last thing before we leave?
Yeah, I want to say one more thing, is that there's a bar on Family Ties where he says, 2021, I ain't taking no prisoner. So, for those of you who are wondering, is he dropping 2021 or 2022? He's hinting at a 2021 drop. And if you look at the Damn rollout, only a few weeks passed before the announcement, which was the Hard Part 4, and then the actual album drop. And this song sounds like his version of the Hard Part 4, where he's just on his cocky shit and he's lighting a fuse under the rap game. So we can expect this album very soon, guys. So stay tuned for the latest updates on this Kendrick album. And thank you guys so much for sticking throughout the entire video. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thank you for watching the video. It's always a pleasure doing content for you guys. Listen, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we're doing album reviews, and we actually have our series called Everything We Know, where we take you guys through the whole album rollout of the hottest releases of the year. Not only that, guys, but our Patreon plan is now live. You guys can access that in the bio. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.